I've never loved the beach. Shocker for those who look at me with my flowy dresses, lots of swimsuits, skirts for a nice walk, and quick dry shorts. The beach is just too messy. It's gray with all the dead jellyfish that are just there, the frigid ocean water, and the sand that comes home with you. For me, the beach is boring and not my cup of tea. My mom loves the beach. Any chance she gets, she'll most likely take it and drag me along with. In July this year, I went on a trip with my best friend Hun for her birthday. Part of this camping trip was visiting the beach. Ugh. 1, I went because I love her, and 2, I wanted to see if I'd enjoy it more with my friend. For once in a long time, I was excited for a beach trip. We actually drove on the beach and went into town to look at shops. We went to a restaurant and I got clam chowder, a tradition I have for myself, and one I also shared with my dad. We went to a vintage shop. I found a dress that my dad would have loved to see me in, but I didn't have any of my money to buy it. Before the shops and food, we went to the beach and looked at a sandcastle competition. During the whole trip, Hun kept asking me, "Are you excited?" My reply was pretty much the same. Well, yeah, I haven't done something like this in a while or ever, or something like that. It was nice to see how excited she was. It made my dread of the beach a little easier. After looking in the little shops, we got in the car and we drove on the beach. I watched the waves crash onto each other, the water hitting the sand, how it would retreat back to the rest of the ocean, seeing the seaweed on the shore and the empty crab shells. We were driving back off the beach. As I'm watching the waves, I remember my dad and the last time I saw him. As I sat there watching, I felt myself about to cry. I took a deep breath and wiped away a tear that had formed, without Hun, her mom, or dad noticing. I haven't been to the beach since, but that drive was very similar to the one my dad took me and my brother on. Since that trip with my dad, I've hated beaches at the ocean. I get reminded of my dad and how dead he looked behind his very fake smile. Before his trip, I just didn't like beaches. I wasn't scared of it or what was in it, besides maybe jellyfish, but that's a story for a different day. The ocean is beautiful. The waves, the possibility of mermaids or 1,000-year-old creatures amaze me, but the beach itself is what I hate nowadays. I look back on the trip with my dad. I don't think he wanted me to hate the beach. He wanted a trip I could remember to tell my kids or others about. Now, I'm talking about hating ocean beaches, because I do, but I love beaches found by a river. It was through his death and a trip I now go on every year that I found this love for them. It's a positive I've found from his death. I've grown a lot as a person these past 3 years, more than a lot of kids my age have. When my dad first died, I wanted nothing more than to personally kill him. I was so hurt and furious at him for taking his own life over 3 years ago. Three years have passed now. I just really miss him. He was one of my closest friends. I used to be more outgoing to make friends and do well in school, but now I'm a quiet person. I want to tell him how I've come out as pansexual and how I go by Levy now. If I told him, he'd probably flip out over it, because he and my mom thought really hard about what to name me. But after explaining that it's due to every time my birth name's yelled, I have a panic attack. The name Levy, it's a name that has given me strength to go forward. and actually got me into reading for fun, which he would have loved. I miss my dad, but I've grown as a person. I'm wiser, braver, and have made friends that know what I'm kind of going through, and that's really nice. No matter how much I miss him, I can still see him in photos and in dreams when I really miss him. I only wish I hugged him tighter and told him I loved him more before he left. I know that though he took his own life, he watches over me and my brother every day.